Hey, it's the Morning Drive Top 5. Today it's brought to you, as every time, by the Paint Doctor. And today we look at top 5 quarterbacks for Texas Tech. And how I looked at this from my standpoint, Jamie, was I'm not including guys that I did not see play. So Rodney Allison, guys like him and others, I'm not in my top 5 of them because I did not see them play on the field. So basically I'm going from 1989 to present day. Okay, so that's where my top 5 is. So then I started thinking about, okay, well, what does a quarterback make? Well, a quarterback's got to be somebody that can lead his team to wins. He's got to be able to complete passes. He's got to be able to throw touchdowns. He's got to have yardage behind him. And so that's how I came up with my top 5. And number 5 on my list, and he would be higher if he played more years, is B.J. Simmons. B.J.'s career was basically over the standpoint of 4 years, but really as a starter, it was just 1 year. So his completion and his yardage and his touchdowns, while he may have single season stats that put him at the top from a career standpoint, he is not. So BJ is number 5 for me. A surprise maybe for some folks, Seth Dagey is number 4 on my list. Seth had career yardage of 8,646 yards. From a completion standpoint, he's 4th on the list all time for Texas Tech with 819. And from a touchdown standpoint, he is 4th on the list as well. So Seth Dagey for me is number 4. Because they didn't win very many football games and because he was not the quarterback that he is today, Patrick Mahomes is number 3 on my list for me. Mahomes is 3rd on the list from a career yardage standpoint, 11,252. He's 3rd from touchdowns, 93. And he's 3rd on the list in completion attempts and also in completions. So Patrick Mahomes is number 3 on the list for me. And obviously he did not play his senior year, and so he probably would have elevated maybe to the top all time from a quarterback standpoint. Number 2, and it's because of what he did on the field, Cliff Kingsbury is number 2 on the list for me. He won. His teams won. He established a winning tradition in the air raid. He was 2nd in touchdowns all time. He's 2nd in completion attempts and completions himself. Cliff Kingsbury is number 2. And number 1 for me in terms of what he did at Texas Tech as a quarterback, and I think regardless of any decade, is Graham Harrell. He's your leader in completions. He's your leader in attempts. He's your leader in touchdowns. He's your leader in yards. So Graham Harrell is number 1 on my list, and that's my top 5.
Yeah, I would definitely go with Graham Harrell number 1 as well. Success on the field as far as team wins go, and then also NCAA records. I think you have to put him number 1. I am going to go. You can look at the numbers. You can see the historic seasons that Texas Tech had under Rodney Allison. I don't know how he wouldn't be at the top, near the top of the list as well. So I have him number 2 on the list. I'll take Mahomes at 3, Kingsbury at 4, and B.J. Simmons at 5. Loved Seth Dagey, but I don't know that he deserves to be in the top 5. I think you got to mention Rodney Allison when you're talking about the top Tech quarterbacks of all time. So pretty good ones, no doubt about it.
That's our top 5 Texas Tech quarterbacks on the Morning Drive, presented by the Paint Doctor.